Hi, I'm Suzanne Beecher, author of Muffins and Mayhem, Recipes for a Happy, if Disorderly, Life. I'd like to show you how to make one of the recipes for my book today. It's called Whoops Banana Bread. Originally, when I made the banana bread, I was following a recipe in an old cookbook. But the doorbell rang. The UPS man was at the doorbell. And by the time I got back to do the recipe, I started following the ingredients of a different recipe, very similar. And then when I realized that I had goofed, I decided, well, what the heck, I'll try to backtrack and see if I can fix it the best I can. But in the end, I ended up with a better banana bread than the original recipe that I'd followed before. So, if you make a mistake when you're cooking, just plow ahead and keep going anyway. You never know what you'll get. So let's start. Let's start by putting in the bananas. And first of all, I want to show you the bananas that you need to use. They have to be really, really ripe, almost kind of scary ripe. If they have mold growing on them, then that's too ripe for me. But the darker the better, and really the smellier the better, kind of like cheese. You'll get a much better bread. So the first thing we're going to put in are the mashed bananas. And you need 1.25 cups. And what you really do, I just peel the banana because it's so ripe and soft. You can just kind of peel it and put it right in the measuring cup as you go. See how easy it is? Then you know they're really ripe. And add that into the mixer. You know, I like recipes like this that you can just put everything into the mixer at one time and you don't even have to worry, you know, in which order you put it in. And that's the way it is with this bread. So, okay, we've got the bananas in there. We're going to put in some brown sugar and some granulated sugar, 1/2 cup of each. And then we're going to add Crisco, or any kind of shortening that you want to use, and just 1/4 cup of Crisco, or again any shortening, but don't use butter. Butter will not, you'll not be happy with butter, or who knows, you might end up with a better bread than I have. Whoops. And we're going to add some salt, baking powder, and baking soda. You can check the recipe, but it's about 1/4 teaspoon of each except the salt. It's a teaspoon. Buttermilk, we're going to add 1/4 and 1.25 cups of buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can make your own buttermilk by adding a tablespoon of vinegar to 1 cup of milk. But the only thing you need to make sure of is that it's whole milk, because I tried it the other day and we only use skim milk and there's not enough fat, and so it doesn't taste as good. But if you have whole milk, you can make your own. Then we're going to add 2 eggs. By the way, if you go to my website, Muffins and Mayhem, and you're reading with a book club who meets in person, if you decide to read my book together as a club, you can send in a photo with each one of you holding up a copy of the book, and I'll enter you in a drawing. And every 6 months, I'm going to draw the name of a book club. I'm going to fly to wherever you live, and we can cook together in your kitchen. So we could make this bread, cookies, frosted meatloaf, any of the recipes, and you can invite your friends over, and we can have a good time. Okay, so let's see. See, this is what happens. It's like the doorbell rang. I start talking. Oh, now we're going to add 2.5 cups flour. And I probably should have added this a little at a time, so now I'm going to have to be careful when I turn on the mixer. You've probably had that happen where you get all the flour in at once, you turn on the mixer and it flies all over the place. Chocolate chips, I add like 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. If you can't eat nuts, because we're going to put walnuts in it too, you could add more chocolate chips, or you might even try a few blueberries. I add some of those sometimes. I buy walnuts that are already chopped, but I like to crush them up a little bit more. So I just use a rolling pin, and it's very easy. My rolling pin has raffia on it because my neighbor John does a lot of cooking. We cook together sometimes. He likes to bake. Diana, his wife, does not like to bake. She makes a very good salad, though. But he came down and borrowed my rolling pin one day, and when he brought it back, he had tied raffia on it. So I love to lend things to my neighbor John because they always come back looking cuter than when they left. Okay, so you can crush up the walnuts a little bit more. Add those. We are going to have a big pot of stuff here. I probably should have mixed it a little bit as we go. And let's see, all the containers are empty, so we're good to go. We're going to mix it all up. And just to, sometimes I cover the mixer with a little towel for that initial whoosh. We're going to mix this up until it's all very well blended. That's all you need to do. There, now it's good on its own. And then you're going to grease the bottom of a pan. I happen to use 4 smaller ones, or you can use 2 large loaf pans. Grease the bottom. We're going to pour the batter in, and we're going to bake it at 350 degrees. When you put a toothpick in it and it comes out clean, it's ready to go. You'll have, whoops, banana bread. I hope you enjoy it.